for most of us, we believe we're heading into another bull market, another big crypto cycle. We had a bunch of narratives in the last cycle that if you were sort of front running or ahead of those narratives, you would have done really well. And I think there's obviously a bunch of new narratives that are going to come this time around. I guess you sort of touched on some of them in terms of where the private markets are beginning to push capital. You said DePIN, the Bitcoin DeFi side of things, and then like DeFi 2.0, which I guess would be 3.0 because we technically had a DeFi 2.0 last cycle that kind of failed. So are there any specific narratives or catalysts or things that you're sort of eyeing right now for 2024? Anything that you can already see that's probably going to play out?
For sure. So a few others. So privacy protocols I think are really interesting. So one of them, privacy protocols at like not like Tornado Cash level, but actually at the wallet layer and additional enhancements in wallets more generally. So like if I wanted to send a transaction to you, I could just click like I'll pay 0.1% more and anonymize that transaction, for example. That technology is already here. That's coming. That's going to be built into every DEX, AMM. What the legal implications are for that, not exactly clear to me, but using a number of acronyms you're going to hear a lot about in the future. So ZK, fully homomorphic encryption, which is FHE, and then multi-party computation, MPC, are all really, really big trends for privacy going forward. And there are a number of protocols that are going to be doing this, especially as you go kind of cross-chain and you start sending a number of transactions, financial transactions, more importantly. And let's be real, for you and me, it doesn't really matter. Like, yes, if you found out I sent whatever, $10,000 to buy a Pudgy Penguin, like, yeah, you might be able to do something with that information, or you might be able to, get some sort of MD at my transaction or whatever, exactly. But like, what's more important is actually financial institutions as they come in, right? So the options are today, like, hey, I could KYC or go to some KYC-L2 or go to some permission chain to transact. But like, even more importantly, maybe I could interact with a protocol that's actually layering in ZK technology. So it says, I know the counterparty that you're doing business with, Tom, is not a known terrorist, and they've affirmed that to me, and they've provided a proof as such, and you could send an anonymized transaction to them. You don't have to know who each other are, but you've done a transaction that both of you, wanted to do, and you've abided by all sort of jurisdictions. So there's a number of protocols coming here that I think are extremely interesting and sort of going to bring in and provide an incremental advantage over the layers of traditional finance that we have today, because you can't do that in traditional settings. So that's one that's super interesting. I think
And are you saying those are coming live? Are you saying those privacy ones are like coming live or are live like this year kind of thing? And you think that's going to be a catalyst for whether it's institutional adoption or whatever?
Yeah, there's a few. So Elusive is one that we've invested in, full disclosure. That's coming up soon. Skuro is an L2 that's launching very similar over the next few weeks, I believe. And take your pick. There's probably about 5 more that are pursuing this sort of same path. Mine Network is one that's actually doing that technology directly through CCIP to anonymize a lot of those transactions. There's a number that are coming today.
Okay, cool. Token Extension just launched in Solana, and it does a lot of this as well, right? So I think it becomes even easier to do this, where you can like send a transaction, you can see who you sent it to, but you can't see how much it was. And I think even that itself is a massive use case. Now, I'm sure what you're talking about is a little bit different, but a bunch of different types of things are coming for this sort of privacy. And I think it enables a lot of businesses to do more things on chain that they otherwise could not have done, right?
Yeah, so this is a great point. So Solana launched token extensions, which one of the inherent features of that was privacy. So what I'm talking about is sort of still a step beyond that. So right now you can say like Alice sends Bob whatever X amount of USDC, and that X amount is blurred out. Yeah. What these protocols allow you to do is like Jane Doe sends money to John Doe. I don't know who those two parties are, and I don't know what the transaction amount is at all, or the token. So like it's a whole nother level of anonymization, right, which maybe you and I don't need that again, but like there's certainly a number of use cases for that.
For sure. Well, businesses in general, like we pay a lot of our team members who are all around the world in crypto because some of them are in Argentina, some are in Russia, and like we actually just can't pay them with fiat. And so we have to do it on crypto. And right now it's like, if anyone, no one cares, but if anyone did care and they knew our wallets and their wallets, they could see how much, we're paying our employees, which is obviously not a great thing, but right now, nobody listening to this cares and no one knows our wallets. Like it's not a big deal. But of course, for bigger companies, this would matter if it ever came out there. And so these sort of privacy things are massive to adopt companies, because companies probably want to use the chain. At least we do. It makes our lives a lot easier and cheaper and possible. We can't do it through fiat. And so we love it. And I'm sure others would too, but they just can't because you need this privacy. So I think it's a big deal for sure. All right, what else did you have? You said DePIN, and then I think you have some more.
Yeah, for sure. DePIN, definitely one that we like. A lot of things directly around, so improving the tooling on chain. So there's a number of new kind of boring things that you and I wouldn't think about, but like block explorers, as well as integrating a lot of the technology that have been built over the past cycle. So a lot of the directly integrated kind of like AI related stuff to not only do research, but also to look at on-chain transactions. So, and I assume most on-chain people who are listening right now have used Etherscan, but there's new primitives that are 10 times what Etherscan is and doing it kind of cross-chain. So you can go in there and say like, hey, and it'll show you all transactions in kind of like natural language. It'll tell you like, not wallet to wallet, it'll say like exactly whose wallet it is, what they've done, the tokens they're using, and then allows you to go in and say like, give me the top 5 sort of profitable traders on Uniswap and their positions over the last like 24 hours and based on their wallets. And they'll provide you like charts and data based on it. So like taking all the stuff that was like clunky and hard in the past cycle and like moving it a step forward and integrating a lot of the technology that has been developed, you know, in the Web2 space and bringing it on chain. So again, with that theme of like making it just more intuitive than everything has been today.